Excellent. All right, I'll call this meeting of the Board of Adjustments to order. It's 2:01 p.m. on March the 10th, 2025. Jasmine or Brandy, I'm not sure who typically does it, but will you call the roll, please?
Chair Rose.
Present.
Member Mueller.
Present.
Member Probst.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum.
Wonderful. Okay, first thing on here is our new member, Janet Mueller, taking the oath of office. So I'll hand that over to, I'm not sure, Jasmine or Brandy, who's doing that. Probably Jasmine. If you can issue that, please.
All right, I'm going to have you raise your right hand, and then I'll have you repeat after me, and I'll try to go slow. I solemnly swear.
I solemnly swear
That I will support and defend.
that I will support and defend
The Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the State of Alaska.
the Constitution of the State of Alaska,
And the Charter of the Municipality of Anchorage.
and the Charter of the Municipality of Anchorage,
And that I will faithfully perform.
and that I will faithfully perform
The duties of Board of Adjustment.
the duties of Board of Adjustment
To the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. It's good to have a 5-person board back. Let's move along to the agenda. So first thing on there is I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay. Is that a second from you, Member Mueller?
Second.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll learn.
You're good. You're good. Agenda is approved as specified. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. So only people who were there at the previous meeting can make this motion.
I guess that's me.
Yeah.
So moved.
And I'll second that, and that'll pass without any opposition or discussion either. So moving to a new business, which is really the only business of the day. That is the discussion of identifying the panel, finish identifying the panel for Board of Adjustment Appeal number 2024-02. One admonishment, I see there's a few people also on the call, of course, public hearing. We do not take any commentary or discussion or debate or evidence from any member of the public on any of the cases that we're currently hearing. So feel free to listen in. But when it comes time for us to discuss things, it has to be just what we have in the record. Here we are just deciding the member panel. Ms. Mueller, so the benefit of background, Board of Adjustment is a 5-member board, and what we do is we break into 3-member panels for handling any of the cases that are before us. And we kind of rotate that based on availability and kind of give everyone a chance to take some time off to kind of spread it out. But when there's a conflict of interest, that prevents someone from being able to hear it. So 2 of our 5 members have a conflict of interest with the current case we're having here. Mr. Probst and I don't have conflicts of interest, so we would be on the panel. Hopefully, you also don't have a conflict of interest. Have you had a chance to at least see what the appeal is about?
I did, and I have none.
Perfect. Well, in that case, we have our hearing panel then. So that's our 3-member panel for this appeal. That'll be members Mueller and Probst, myself. We now need to schedule the actual hearing. So the way that we do this, and this is again just for your benefit as the new kid on the block, so to speak, but we will set a hearing, a longer hearing, where the 3 of us essentially debate out and come to a decision on the issues that are raised in that appeal. That usually takes a couple of hours. We usually carve out about a half day for it. Once that's done, we then have another hearing in a week or two's time. During the interim, our attorney, Ms. Kitchen, will draft up the formal documents, findings that we make, And then we'll, at that second hearing, we'll wordsmith that, make sure there's nothing's incorrect or correct spelling or grammar, anything else that we want to kind of correct before I put pen to paper and it's done. So in scheduling these, we're going to be looking at our calendars, and I'll note typically the first thing that pushes the calendar is making sure that there's enough time for our attorney to get to us a confidential bench memo. Ms. Kitchen, what's your, and I'll note also, as I kind of was mentioning before, I'm on vacation for the next couple of weeks anyway, so we're probably not looking until April at the earliest. But assuming we're looking into April, what kind of time frame do you think you need to be able to prepare the brief, and then we can look at what days work?
I propose that I could get the brief to you all by the 28th of this month.
Okay.
When are you back, Michael? Are you back the 28th or?
I technically fly back in the 27th. I am taking the 28th off.
Okay, great.
My post-travel day. And whoever, can we mute that line right there? There's some background. Thank you. So that works great. I typically like having about 2 weeks after we get the memo to be able to digest that and review it with the records. So we'd be looking at kind of mid-April as a starting point. We historically in the last year have been doing these on Fridays. So let's see. Well, how does Friday the 11th of April sound for everybody? If you have a conflict, just speak up. We'll just keep finding new dates.
That's fine with me.
Okay. Ms. Mueller?
Fine with me too.
Wonderful. Does that work for the City Hall?
Yeah, as long as we're in 240. They'll have work sessions that day, but we can have other staff cover it and we can be upstairs. That will be fine.
Yeah, upstairs in 240 works just fine. Ms. Kitchen, does that work for you?
It does.
Awesome. Let's start at 10 o'clock. And if we are able to finish it up in 2 hours, we'll be able to have lunch. If not, it'll be a working lunch, and we'll keep at it until we need to finish it. So we'll do 10 o'clock on the 11th of April. And then assuming we are able to make our decision that day, Ms. Kitchen, how long do you think it'll take you to get the findings and conclusions drafted?
I would hope that I could get it. If you guys wanted to meet the following Friday on the 18th, I could try to get it to you by the 16th, but I could certainly have it. I don't know how much time you want in between when I get it to you and when we have the meeting. I know there's this case has been pending for a while, so I want to be sensitive to that. I can have it to you by the 16th if you wanted to meet on the 18th, but that might not give everybody enough time.
Yeah, the other difficulty that I run into on my schedule is the bar convention is the following week, the 23rd through 25th. Those are all day things. So
if I got it to you by the 14th, could we meet on the 18th?
You're going to work over the weekend.
I mean, I can, if that's what everybody wants to do, or I can meet the following, I can get it to everybody by the 18th, and we could meet maybe even on a Monday after the bar convention.
Let's aim for that. That way you're not in a huge crunch to get that. So if you can get the memo to us by the 18th, let's go ahead and look at maybe Monday, the 28th of April. How does that day look for everybody?
Good.
Ms. Mueller says good. Carl?
Depending on the time. What are you thinking of?
My Monday, the 28th, is open right now, so I can defer to your time restrictions.
I think I've got a commitment from about 8 to 10 that morning. Bless you.
Bless you.
So if we plan to convene about 11, do you have enough time between those two?
Yep, that would be fine
Okay.
with me.
Perfect. So then let's, and just going around the tail, Ms. Mueller, 11 o'clock on the 28th of April. Okay,
And that's
Steve.
where do we meet for that one?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the first one that we talked about, that's strongly preferred to meet in person at City Hall.
Right.
This one is less important because essentially we're just all comparing our copies of the document and sharing any, minor changes here or there, kind of a thing. So that one will have a Teams link open, and you can either Zoom into it or show up in person.
Okay.
But that would be at City Hall for those of us that are in person for that one. We've done it both
Okay.
ways.
Great.
Ms. Kitchen, does the 28th at 11 work for you?
It sure does.
Okay, and Jasmine works for getting a room for us as well.
Yes, I'll be fine.
Awesome. So we'll do that then. That'll be April 28th at 11 o'clock for our review of the draft findings and conclusions. And that should set forth that schedule. I assume the emails will get shuffled around for the agendas and everything pursuant to that. Jasmine's always super good at getting that to us ahead of time. With that, then, that concludes the new business for today. Go to old business. Oh, there's no old business, so we'll skip that entirely. Member comments. So this is just a round table. If anyone has any general member comments, I'll start. Prerogative as chair, I get to do that. Ms. Mueller, welcome. I'm very glad to have you join the board. I've been on the board now for about a year and a half, and it is incredibly rewarding work. And the other members of the board are really some fantastic people. I'm okay. But when it comes to solving the issues that are before us, we've really done a good job, at least in my tenure, and from what I hear from people, the history of the board at coming to some really good consensus decision making on the issues that are in front of us. I like the approach in that it really is a truly nonpartisan board, but we're able to deal with some very difficult and sometimes contentious issues between the parties in a very respectful way. So I welcome you to join the board. I'm thrilled that we finally have a full board, and we can hopefully not run into conflicts of interest that have the effect of, for instance, this case that we're dealing with, it delayed it so long. And of course, the parties, that hurts the parties to not have some resolution to their cases. So welcome, and I look forward to that. Mr. Probst, do you have any member comment?
Yeah, I'd just like to echo what you had to say, Michael, to welcome to Janet. It's great to have a full complement. And Janet, you can relax that 4 of us on the board, 4 out of 5, are all relatively new. I've been on about 1.5 to 2 years also, but it seems like less than that because we meet so seldom. Only Nancy Pease is a real veteran on this board. So you don't need to be intimidated or anything by any of us. So welcome.
Ms. Mueller, any member comment?
Thank you all very much. I appreciate that. I feel very happy to be here and look forward to helping to contribute to sorting things out, Seems to be a natural fit at this point. So I look forward to making solutions happen in the future, So thank you again. I really appreciate the warm welcome.
Excellent. All right, we'll then move to our next item on the agenda, which is audience participation. I see there's some members of the audience that are here by phone numbers. Again, we cannot hear about any case that is currently pending before the Board of Adjustment. So if you have any general comments, you can make those, but please do not say anything that is case specific to any particular cases. Okay, no audience participation comments. We'll go ahead and move to the next item of the agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, moved and seconded. Thank you very much. We are adjourned, and I'll see you all when next we meet. Have a wonderful
Thank
day,
you.
and I'm gonna go pack.
All right. Thank you very much.
Have a good trip.
Have a good trip, Mike.